mentioned what lessons can be learned from Grenfell. You're about to tell us quite a lot that still needs to be learned, aren't you?
Yeah, the World Health Organization says that by 2050, 2/3 of the world's population are going to live in cities. So we have the advent of new super cities. So in China now, we've got two cities joining together as a single identifiable city with 100 million people in it. Having worked before lockdown in Sao Paulo and opening the window in my hotel to see literally a forest of tall buildings. We are going to live in tall buildings more. Those tall buildings we're going to be built are going to be more complex, so we're going to do modular construction. There's going to be tall timber. We're going to have green walls, green roofs. The tall buildings, that we hark back to, the 60s concrete simple buildings, are going to seem to be like really simplistic compared to the tall buildings we're going to be. We have to learn lessons, and for me, the key one, and I know Bob will appreciate this, is management. The buildings have to be managed, let alone all the other design issues. We can't just simply build these buildings like some social housing buildings that I know, and they don't get managed at all. The residents are just left alone in there. So the key thing for me is the buildings have to be managed, and we can't just leave them because of cuts to budgets, etc., and expect that those buildings are not going to degrade, and in some cases degrade very quickly.
Bob, you're nodding along to that. I would imagine you've got something you want to add?
Well, yes, I have. I mean, you're absolutely right. But if you're starting off with new buildings, whatever the design and construction is going to be in the future, I go back to a paper I did a couple of years ago at one of these events called Passport to Fire Safety. And if you're going to build a building, then everything has to be in place. Everything has to be certified. The building design, the architecture, the fire strategy for the building. In this country, Regulation 38 needs to be there. All those bits of information have to be there about that building. So it's a passport for that building. It tells you all about it. When it's built and it's handed over, that passport's handed over, and until the building degrades, falls down or whatever, then that passport sticks with that building, and it changes when the building changes. And it comes back to the point we were making about management. You could only manage a building if you know the history of it, how it's built, what the systems are in there, and how to deal with those systems, test them, change them, or whatever. So you need to know the building right the way through its history.